Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I almost said Monday. It's definitely not Monday. I had an amazing Monday, though. Monday is my second favorite day of the week. Sunday's my favorite because I'm off work with Jason. It's the only day that he's off work, too. So, all right. I have to send out an invite to my friend Annette that's going to be coming on. Hey Gina, hey Ariel, Jay, hey Sheila, thanks for hopping on, y'all. Let me send out this invite to her. How are you, Sheila? It just started storming here, like seriously 2 minutes ago. Hey Nanny, I was just going to message you right after I was done with this. I got the information about you. I hope you're feeling better. I love you. Thanks for coming and joining me. All right. There's my girl, Shavrina. Let me get Annette on here. I always have the funnest time with this live stuff. You know, I've done it several times, but I still always feel like it's a little bit of a challenge. I got a new phone finally. My other one was just toast, so I didn't have a choice but to get a new phone. And I'm still learning all these new updates from it that are, I say upgrades. They're not even upgrades. I like my old phone better. I had it for 2 years. Oh, you're feeding Brexton. Give him some love for me. He's getting so big. I can't wait to see you guys. All right. So my dog, I'm sure you guys can hear her panting like crazy. She's got storm anxiety. We're working really hard on, well, she's got PTSD from the hurricane. So anytime the storms come, she freaks out. So I don't have a choice but to have her in here with me and let her little feet tap on the floor and pant and hide under the desk. So there is Annette. There's my beautiful friend. Hey, Amanda. Hey Jen, thanks for coming on. We will get this show on the road. We've got some really important information to share with everybody today. As there's nobody that is exempt from this information. We all have a brain. There she is. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, Val.
Hi, Val.
How are you?
Blessed.
How are you?
Oh, it's storming here. I got my dog right here keeping me company. I get to hang out with all you beautiful folks. It's a great Tuesday.
Cool.
A normal Tuesday in Florida, full of rainy weather.
Very cool. Very
cool.
Storming over there?
No, it's not storming
over
yet.
yet.
It's
Yeah.
probably will, but it's not yet.
Well,
I'm
getting
getting really bad on here.
Let me turn off my Bluetooth and see if that helps. Ooh, that is rough. It's not on my end. Let's see. Do you have your Bluetooth on, or?
No, I'm just on my phone. Yes, somebody just sound is coming in and out.
I don't know why that is giving us that feedback like that.
You hearing it on your end?
I just hear really loud beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, I'm getting that too.
I don't know if it's on my end or not.
Okay, well, the beeping went away.
Yeah, I didn't have it before your video came on. Sometimes when you share them, it does do that. Can everybody comment and say if that's better or not?
Yeah, they're saying
Yeah, I've never had problems with my computer being on, ever.
mine's on.
With the computer on always.
You know what? I'm gonna go move it just in case.
Do what?
Okay. Go move it just in case.
Oh, that's terrible though. My Bluetooth isn't on. I turned everything off, so is that better?
Is that better?
I don't hear it on my end anymore. Yeah, I still hear it. I don't know what. We'll go off and come back on, Annette, and see if that makes a difference. Yeah, I just took her off, and I just sent her an invite here. I know the delay too from you guys to us, so.
Okay.
All right.
It sounds like it's a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. So maybe whatever it was just the connection with Facebook.
Okay, yeah, I see Sheila says that it's gone now, so
Okay.
good. Yeah.
All right. Now I can hear
Good
you.
information is worth fighting for, right?
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Give me 1 second. I have to go turn my air conditioner down since the storm. It just like got really, really humid in here all of a sudden, and I don't want to sit here and sweat. Give me 1 second. Annette, you can start talking. Back up.
Well, we don't want you sweating either, so you go ahead and turn that air conditioner on. But we are so excited to be on to share this information. It is an important topic, and I think almost everybody that I speak to nowadays knows either a family that's been affected by it or their own family has been affected by it. And so Val and I just wanted to address it and come on and see if the information that we have and that we're using will be of value and of help to everybody else. So that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, we both eat, sleep, and breathe, trying to live and breathe health into everybody, whether human or animals. So, we get together. She does live here in Orlando, and we get together and have lunch and brainstorm about these beautiful things that we want to share with each other. And we started talking about this, and it was just something that we both knew that we needed to come on and share with everybody. So this will be available on my page that everybody will be able to share it, with your loved ones afterwards. You can copy the link and share it, or you can tag them specifically in here. I'm just going to get my computer back open here. And
hey,
you guys,
Sharina, I see you. I was just saying hi. Somebody said hello, Annette, Sharina, so I wanted to say hi.
Oh, our beautiful friend Sharina. She's the one that turned on to this beautiful life of activation. So,
Forever grateful. Forever grateful.
Right? Yes. Well, I know I want to turn it over to you because, I know you're a full-time caregiver to somebody that has Alzheimer's. For your heart, your soul, your entrepreneur mindset, your biohacker. I mean, I could go on and on about everything that I personally love about you, but I want others to know, who you are and why your words are of such value. I wrote down a couple things. I know you're a speaker, affiliate marketer, co-author, president of Orange County here in Orlando, where we live, at the chapter of Health and Wellness Network of Commerce. You've been a personal friend of mine for the past year, and I go to you
Mhm.
whenever I need validation on things that I'm curious about when it comes to the mind. You've helped me with my family members, and I truly value your friendship. And I just want to let everybody know, if you have any questions, drop the comments here. If you're on the live, if everybody would just put a 1 so we can decipher who's here live and who's not, because we have something special we'd like to do for those that are live.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Val. And I want to echo what you said. God just puts the most amazing people in my life, and you are definitely one I'm glad is in my circle. So, just
Thank
a
you.
little bit about me. First of all, let me make it very clear. I am not a medical professional. I don't have a medical degree. I'm not in the medical profession in any way, shape, or form. And what I'm going to share with you today is my personal testimony, my experiences, and the things that I have done and have found are working for me, my family, and many other people that I've shared it with. So we're not claiming to prevent, treat, or cure anything. We just need to share the information, because you can't make an informed decision if you don't have all the information. So that's what we're about. So, my journey on this specific path to find something to help my aunt, she's 83, and she has Alzheimer's. And it started because I lost my uncle, her older brother, back in 2015 to dementia. Now, his was completely different. His was caused by a series of small strokes that we did not even know that he had had. And then by the time we figured it out and got him tested, it was just too late. So we started what most people do. You go to your doctor, and we found highly recommended neurological group. Went to them. They did the testing, and um, they did what they know how to do, which is they started prescribing. So Aricept, Namenda, the usual things. So they started recommending those, got him on those, and then one thing led to another. He wasn't sleeping through the night. They added another medication. The medication that they added created personality changes and, hallucinations. And, he started being a little feisty and started doing some cussing here and there. And so we had to go back and say, oh, no, that's not working. So they threw another one on there. And so we played with those dosages up and down. But long story short, we lost him in about 4.5 years from diagnosis until death. It was about 4.5 years. Now, not unusual, because all the research shows that Alzheimer's has about a 3 to 9 year span once you're diagnosed with it. Of course, it certainly can be more than that. I know that some people have family members who've been dealing with Alzheimer's, for 15 years. So 3 to 9, though, is the average. So what happens is, and I don't think I'm unlike anybody else. I mean, it was heartbreaking. It was emotionally wrenching. Very, very difficult to go through. I was also working, 50 to 55 hours a week in corporate America at the time, running several different companies for the owners of my company, and then trying to balance that between the last 2 to 2.5 years, making sure I went back and forth between the private facility that we had him in, just trying to make sure he was okay, and taking him to doctor visits, and wounds developed, and then there was more medication. And so after we lost him, I knew that I needed to do something, because I wasn't going to go through that again. It was just a decision that I made. I'm not going to go through this again. I don't know how, why, when, where. There's got to be something. So my auntie was the only one of my elders that I had left, because I had lost my mom to ovarian cancer, lost my uncle to dementia. She is the only elder that I have left. So it's very important to me to keep her around for as long as possible. So just threw it out there, in prayers, and just started searching, started Googling, like I'm sure everybody else does. Here's the thing about Google, though. If you don't put in the right search terms, you don't get the information that you need. So
Right.
right? So here I am putting in, everything, cure for Alzheimer's, what do I do to slow the progression of Alzheimer's, all these types of things, but wasn't ever hitting just the right search terms to bring up what I needed to know. And so somebody mentioned to me that a naturopathic doctor was giving a lunch and learn on some amazing new all natural products. She didn't know what it was, where, she knew nothing about it, but she mentioned it to me, and that was all it took. So immediately I RSVP'd. Yes, absolutely, I'm going to go there. And she had only learned about it 3 weeks before she did this lunch and learn. So here's a naturopathic doctor and a master herbalist. Shout out to Dr. Terry Tomlinson, who had been doing
Love
this for,
her.
yeah, right, Terry. She's part of our little squad. But she had been doing naturopathic medicine and was a master herbalist for 30 years, a little over 30 years. And she had just learned about it 3 weeks prior to that in 2015 when she told us about it at a lunch and learn. So the fact that doctors don't know about it cannot be shocking to anybody because they just don't know that it exists, right? So we know only about 1,200 doctors in the world right now know about this. So, but anyway, once I got the information about what it did, and I'm one of those people that, it's not real difficult for me to make a decision. So I'm kind of a type D personality in a lot of ways. If I get the information, I hear it, like it, I just go ahead and say yes, and then I'll figure it out later. But the reason I said yes so quickly was that because with my uncle, I had tried conventional, and conventional didn't work. It just did not work. So, I mean, I don't want to demonize doctors. They only know what they know. It's one of the things that you and I are trying to do, right, is to get the word out to doctors so that they then have the information to help increase the quality of life for us and our families. So that's what we do. But I went ahead, started her on that Nrf2 activator, and then went and did all the research. I actually bought the bottle while I was there because I was so eager to just start making a difference. So changed a lot of nutritional things as well. So, cut out all the processed sugar, the white flour, just all the things that I was reading was just not things that your body needed and adapted well to. So took all of that out and actually started feeding my auntie ketogenically. So just getting a lot of good fats into her system. We know how much our brain needs good fat, we get a ton of bad ones in omega sixes, but just filtering out and doing that, and was amazed at the improvements that I saw. So she went from um, just starting, you could see she was starting to go into kind of a depression. She was just kind of sitting on the sofa and she was happy to just sit there all day long and just stare at the TV because she had, even though she had Alzheimer's, she knew her brother wasn't here anymore. She knew her sister wasn't here anymore. And we always called them three musketeers. So she was dealing with just a ton of life differences. And to make it even worse, she knew and still knows that her mind is not where it needs to be. And so that was also playing into it. But then started seeing a difference in mood and attitude and, just smiling more. And, you could just see a change was happening. And so after being on that for about, I want to say it was only about 6, 8 months before the company introduced the Nrf1, which of course is for mitochondrial dysfunction. So the Nrf2 was important because there's probably close to about 5,000 studies on pubmed.gov, not some place that I ever knew to go to before 2015. I don't think you did either, right, Val? Yeah, we
Did
just
not.
didn't know what we didn't. Yeah, we don't know what we don't know. So if you're doing your research, please don't go on Google. It's not there. That's not where you need to be. You need to be on pubmed.gov. So there's probably close to 5,000 peer-reviewed studies on there that talk about the role of oxidative stress in Alzheimer's. And then I was shocked to find out the link, not just between oxidative stress and Alzheimer's, but hundreds of other diseases, autism, ADHD, it's just an amazing list of hundreds of diseases. So that's what that first Nrf2 activator was doing. It was reducing the oxidative stress level in her body. And then when the Nrf1 came out, which addresses mitochondrial dysfunction, which also shows on PubMed. I want to say there's probably, last time I checked, close to somewhere around 1,500 studies that have been done that directly link mitochondrial dysfunction in the pathogenesis of AD, which is Alzheimer's disease. So added that in. Well, then the most amazing thing happened, which was I went and had blood work done, not because I even really was consciously thinking about seeing a change, but just because it's something that, I just know I have to do to make sure I keep her on track. And was absolutely blown away when the CRP test that they did, which is for C-reactive protein, which shows, the levels of inflammation in your body, which is their measurement is between 1 and 5, 1 being the best and 5 being the worst. And hers came back, it was a 0.8.
Wow.
It wasn't even on the chart. It was 0.8, so lower than a 1. And so that accounted for why I was seeing what I was seeing, right? So my auntie, who was good, quickly going downhill, was starting to, be active again. So, she loves to dance. I put music on and she's dancing and she's on beat. She's not even off beat. She is on beat. She's just dancing. She's watching her TV shows, but she's laughing at the appropriate time. So she's getting it. I just had her a little while ago, said, you haven't swept your room yet. You may want to go do, and she went and got the broom and the dustpan and got her room swept. She doesn't wear diapers. She can have, short conversations. Let me make it clear, she still has Alzheimer's. So I'm not saying she does not have Alzheimer's, but she's able to actually enjoy life and enjoy a quality of life that most Alzheimer's sufferers at 8 years in just don't have. And I see it. Yeah, you see it every day. They're non-responsive. They've lost their ability to talk. They oftentimes don't know who anybody is. When we were at Dr. Terry's house on Sunday, one of the ladies that was there in our team, Lisa, was passing out name tags, and she gave one to Auntie and a marker, and she didn't know what she wanted her to do with it. But I said, we just need you to write your name on there, and she wrote her name. 8 years in, Alzheimer's, wrote her name, spelt it correctly. Uh, it's amazing to me, amazing. And so when we talk about quality of life, we have to understand that it doesn't matter if you live to be 100. If you have no quality of life, it's pointless.
Yeah.
You want to be able to, yeah, you want to be able to enjoy your family. And so we need to make certain changes, and that's what these activators allow us to do. So as we went on and on and on, every time the company added another product with Nrf2 in there, I just added it on until we ended up with the Nrf2, the Nrf1, the probiotic was the next one, and then the omegas. So the probiotic is important because many people with Alzheimer's, just like us, they deal with gut immunity. Their guts are not strong, and so in addition to that, they're getting flu shots. So they're getting shots for what's that one? Shingles, just a ton of stuff, plus all the medications, just increasing oxidative stress, increasing it. And so making sure that her gut is healthy is a big, big deal, because the healthier she is, yeah, the healthier she is, the better my life as a caregiver is. So am I on these products too? Of course, because you know what? I got a lot of stress. I got a lot of stress, and I can't do anything about the stresses in life, right? Because they're always going to be there. But we can do something about the stress level in our body, the oxidative stress level in our body, and how our bodies deal with the exterior stress that we're dealing with. So cellular health is just major. So adding in that probiotic also meant that her serotonin levels were now going to be correct and where they should be, because most people think of depression and anxiety and they don't even stop to think. Everybody thinks it's all up here, not realizing that 80% of that hormone, right, is made in your gut. And so if your gut is not healthy, then you're going to deal with some mood issues and mood swings and things like that. So I had to, do what I had to do in order to give her body the best fighting chance. So then the omegas came out, the omega 3s, amazing, because our brains and our hearts need so much good fat in order to protect it and make sure that it works correctly. And that's exactly what our omegas address. In addition to the fact that it also has the recommended daily amount of, the vitamin D3 is in there. So I don't have to give her something separate for that. And it also has omega 7s, which most majority of products don't have. Um, so it's a no-brainer for me once I know what my choices are. So, a lot of people ask me, "Oh my gosh, that's a lot, and ooh, isn't that expensive?" I tell everybody I paid $4,000 a month for
For
two and a
care.
half years, Val, to keep my
Yep.
uncle, yeah, in a private facility to give him the best absolute care possible. So we're not
I
here to
pulled up
sell
some
anything.
numbers. I
Mm-hmm.
pulled up some numbers last night.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and talk. I just, when I
Yeah.
shut my
When people ask me, "Oh my gosh, is that expensive?" No, everything is relative and perspective is everything. So for me to spend what I spend to keep her healthy, I mean, her doctor is amazed. She only sees her twice a year. She never gets the flu, hasn't had the flu. I never give her a flu shot. She doesn't have the shingles shot. She's on, I've got her weaned down to 10 milligrams of a blood pressure medication. That is literally the only thing that she is on. And by the end of this year, actually, probably maybe sooner than that, I expect to have her weaned off of that too, because her blood pressure stays somewhere around 122 over 70, something like that. So, I'll wean her off of that. I know, it's so amazing. It is so cool. Um, and so nutrition plays a big part in it, obviously, because you want to, like I said, give your body the best fighting chance. So just knowing that she is on whole foods, so I kind of have moved away from keto, not because it wasn't doing amazingly well for her, but because I started to see some things that looked to me like she might have been starting to have more of a decline than I thought, because it's been so slow. The progression is so slow. Most people who meet her don't even know that she has Alzheimer's. So what I did was, a few months ago, I changed to a whole food diet. So she gets, as long as it's good whole food, it's not in a can, I'm good. So fresh fruits, vegetables, you know, just anything I can give her to switch it up. So we spend a lot of time in the kitchen to make sure that,
people are so
that,
afraid of of fats, because the
yeah.
way, the big giants, corporate America,
Mm-hmm.
they pay, got milk, they
Right.
pay to get their product out there, and
Mm-hmm.
you watch the movies and you see like the little telepathic things, and people are getting brainwashed, and you're like, oh, that's
Right.
make believe. But that's what
Mm-hmm.
marketing is. That's what,
Yeah.
the constant with the big pharma, the constant with the slogans, and,
Mm-hmm.
putting out their low fat, or, all these little things. And you're like, oh, well, it
Right.
has that in it, so it
Mm-hmm.
must be healthy for me because it has that one
Right.
ingredient in it. But you flip it over and you look on the label and you read
Mm-hmm.
sunflower oil, safflower oil, canola oil,
Right.
polyunsaturated fats and monounsaturated fats. You got to know a little bit of the difference there.
Oh, yeah.
Cholesterol is not bad.
It's
Cholesterol, your
not.
brain needs cholesterol. And when you take the
Absolutely.
diabetes and the statins and the neurological
Absolutely.
disorders, they're all
Hmm.
intertwined. And it's a
Right.
stepping process, and it all ends up at Alzheimer's. You know, they call it
Hmm.
uh, the third diabetes, you know, diabetes type 3, because of
Right.
the way the process goes. And it's really
Hmm.
important. And you've taught me about the MCT oils. You know, I take
Yeah.
coconut oil with my Nrf2. I drink,
Hmm.
well, it's hot here in Florida,
Right.
so it stays, you know, liquid, but I
Yeah.
drink my coconut oil, you know, and
Hmm.
it's really important that we not be afraid of the fats. You know,
Right.
it's
Right.
really important, and know the difference of the
Very
oils.
important.
Avocado oil is great.
Absolutely.
Olive oil is
Absolutely.
great.
Oh,
Coconut oil
yeah.
is great. But,
Yeah. And I
you
cook
know,
with,
if you just
I
look
cook
at
with
canola
all of
oil,
those.
you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cheap. You know, it's my Crisco. It's my, but
It
it's
is.
really, it's
It
bad.
is. It's cheap. And, Val, as we've discussed before, we have to make our choice. Do we want to, pay the price for good health now or pay the price for bad health later? And
Yes.
there is no comparison because you can't put a price on the quality of life that you have. And you can't put a price on, it's an old saying, but it's so true, an ounce of prevention worth a pet. Do you want to
Sure.
prevent it or do you want to deal with it after you're there? And if we don't do something about Alzheimer's, in another 15 years, it's going to bankrupt our healthcare system, which, as we know, is we won't even go there because let's just say in another 15 years, it will bankrupt our healthcare system. So
The numbers I
when
pulled up last night, it
uh-huh,
says in 2019, Alzheimer's and dementia will cost the nation $290 million.
$1 million.
By 2050, these costs will rise as high as 1.1 trillion.
Yeah,
Caregivers
absolutely.
provided an estimated 18.5 billion hours. Not
Mm-hmm.
all of them are paid, but
Nope.
they're valued at nearly 234 billion. That's for
That's right.
Alzheimer's. It comes from
That's
our
right.
diet. It comes from the
That's right.
medications. There's
That's
more than
right.
16 million Americans provide unpaid care for Alzheimer's, like yourself. Yeah, my grandmother passed away
Yeah.
from Alzheimer's, and I wanted to make
Mm.
sure that I was able to go and visit her and see her when I wanted her to remember me. You know, I
Right.
wanted to have
Right.
that last moment.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
didn't get that. You know, I didn't get that opportunity. We were looking at pictures
Yeah.
on the wall, and we're like, Grandma, you know who that is? I would go
Mm-hmm.
outside and literally go outside for a few minutes and come back in. And she'd say, oh, well, hi there. You know, she had no idea that I was there on vacation with my sister. She didn't
Yeah.
know who I was. And
Mm-hmm.
my uncle was taking care of her. My mom went up and lived with them. And it was
Yeah.
literally like going from being 90 years old to being a 2-year old. You have
Yeah.
to watch them constantly. You have to
Constantly.
know, the temper
Yeah.
tantrums, the fits, they're into things.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know if they're coming or going. And,
Right.
to put her in a home, it was so expensive. Like
Mm-hmm.
her whole everything that she worked for her whole life, everything
Right.
that she would pass along as a legacy from everything that my
Mm-hmm.
grandpa and her worked for, it all went to her
It
care.
all went to her
Every
care.
single thing went to her care.
Yeah.
And, and it
Absolutely
killed.
sad. Yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad. And I it's a mindset change that we have to make. We have to make a mindset change. I'll give you an example that has nothing to do with Alzheimer's, but it does have to do with mindset. I'm in a group, um, and a mother commented that her 17-year-old son or her teenage son is starting high school soon in a week, and he's dealing with depression and anxiety. And can anybody recommend any medications that she can use? And so I replied and said, just wanted to make her aware that there are scientifically backed all natural products out there, that can make a difference, and had another person reply and said, yes, but she didn't ask that. She asked about medications. And so, of course, my reply was, you're absolutely right, she did. And everybody should choose their own path, but you can't choose a path if you don't know the path is there. So that's why you and I do what we do. That's why we can't stop. That's why we won't stop. My auntie goes to a daycare, and there's quite a few people there who literally are dropping their loved ones off so that they can then go back and go to work. So the fact that I work from home is amazing, but they're literally stressed. They're running in the door. And that's where I used to be with my uncle because I had him there as well. So dropping them off, and I spoke to one of the women who has her mom there, and she was telling me, she said, I'm so exhausted. I'm just so tired. She said, she wears diapers. She said, but every night we put her to bed and we put her not in one diaper, but two. But then we wake up in the morning and her bed is just soaked. I mean, and of course they have the pad, they have all of that. But then it's so now you have to not only get yourself ready for work, get her cleaned up, you have to change sheets, you have to wash sheets, and it sounds like it's something small, but when you add up all the things that has to be done for someone who cannot do anything anymore for themselves, the stress on a caregiver I can't even describe what it's like. And so other caregivers out there know what I'm talking about. Oftentimes there are no family members that are there willing to tag team you. I mean, I'm so blessed that, my older daughter lives with us and she is an amazing help. And I have a couple of very good friends that are just great when I need them in a pinch. But a lot of caregivers have no backup, so they have no family members that are there to help them when they need help. And so we're talking 24/7, no vacations anymore, right? Because who are you leaving your loved one with? There is no one to leave your loved one with. So if we can do something to make a difference when we see there's a problem, because there's some people out there that are already dealing with it. So you just have to address it where it is, but start making these little changes. I mean, we can't, like we said, we can't guarantee anything, but here's what we know. If we know, remember, it's what we were told when we were in Kansas City was so amazing. Erin Brockovich said, I don't have to be a scientist. I don't have to be, I don't have to be some ultra super smart person to know if something doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. If it's not right, it's just not right. So if all these studies are out there that show the importance of a healthy gut and low oxidative stress and mitochondrial repair and production and good fats in the brain, and there are scientifically proven methods out there that are, backed by all these institutions and, granted a small amount of doctors compared to the million that we have, but why would you not try it? It's like you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. It doesn't interact with medication. You know that. We never tell anybody,
No
oh,
side
don't take your
effects.
Yeah, we never do that because there are no known contraindications since 2003 when it's been around. So it's a pretty good track history to me. So I feel like we're at the point where doing nothing is a crime. You can't know that there's something that could make a difference and not say anything because then it becomes a crime. It's like, silence becomes implicity in a crime. So a crime was committed, that there was something that could have been done, but you didn't say anything. That makes you just as implicit as the person who committed the crime. So, we may be annoying to some people and they may get tired of hearing it, but we have to sleep at night, right? We need our consciences to be clear and to know that we have done everything that we can to educate people that there's an alternative out here that you need to take time to look at and research. And I don't want to hear, oh, if it's God's will. God's will's already in there. He already said, I want you to be healthy. He already he already said that. We know that's his will. And it's everything that he already put on the earth. So it's herbs, a perfect synergy of 5 herbs that I tell people, if you do nothing else, just like one of our cardiologists, Dr. Benny says, every human being on the planet should be on this product. Every human. I didn't say that. A cardiologist with 50 years of experience said that. So we got to do it. We just have to keep telling people. And everybody that I come in contact with, they know, my time is short, so I can't help every single person. But if somebody calls me or texts me and I can provide any kind of help or information or, share recipes or talk about what my routine is like on a daily basis, for my auntie, I'm happy to do that because we're on this planet to make a difference, a positive difference. So that's why we're here. And I just want to thank you for having me talk a little bit about it. It's my
I
niche, it's
love
my
you.
passion. It's my
I just like,
passion. I love
I
you.
mean, like you said, some people may find us to be annoying. I don't care. I'm on a
Bam.
mission. I don't care. I wake up every
Every
single
day.
day
That's
with the
right.
mindset of who do I get to bless today? I
Yeah,
have not one
absolutely.
time run out of anybody to share this with, whether I'm at the
Hmm.
grocery store, if I'm at the gas station, at my vet's office. I
That's
met
right.
somebody at the park yesterday. I was talking to her.
Hmm.
I had the dog out from the shelter. The dog has on an Adopt Me vest. We
Hmm.
started talking about the dogs. I could tell her son was on the spectrum. He started telling me about the flowers and the bees and stuff. I could tell
Mm.
the
Oh.
conversation just flowed. All of a sudden, I gave her the
Hmm.
information. Have you ever heard of Nrf2? It's
Hmm.
selfish to not share this with
That's right.
everybody. And
That's
I
right.
know that may seem sometimes people might, I'm not trying to sell a product. I don't
Right.
care if anybody orders something from me or something from
Hmm.
you. Of course, I like the
Hmm.
check, but
Right.
it's a matter of awareness, my status in life, my purpose in life. I'm an awareness educator. I want this information out for everybody to make an informed decision. What you do with it is your own
Hmm.
choice, but
Right.
not knowing about it,
Not
that's
knowing.
unfair to yourself. It's
It
unfair because
absolutely
it
is.
works for every single mammal on the planet. Proven 100% of the time. I was on over 20
Absolutely.
medications with zero quality of life. I didn't get lucky that it worked for me. It
Hmm.
works for
It works.
everybody. And that's what
Absolutely.
keeps me going every day to connect with people like you. I have numerous times, I call Annette and say, hey, Annette, can you help me? I've got somebody, that's dealing with this personally, or, they've got questions, or, my grandmother, my sister, my uncle, all these people are in connection. I saw that there's, what'd you say, every 65 seconds, somebody is diagnosed with Alzheimer's, 1 in 3 seniors. And Alzheimer's
Mm-hmm.
starts to work in the brain 20
10
years,
years.
starts to develop 20 years before anything ever happens. So,
That's
if you
right.
think you're doing great right now, I had
Mm-hmm.
fibrofog. I couldn't even remember in the middle of a sentence. It was very embarrassing. People
Mm-hmm.
would get impatient with me. I couldn't
Yeah.
look at my phone and call it a phone. Jason would
Mm-hmm.
constantly finish my sentences. And that was,
Yeah.
I wasn't even 40 yet. And now I'm
Mm-hmm.
sharp as a tack. I'm very proud of where my brain is. I drink my brain
Right.
juice every day. I take my
Mm-hmm.
Nrf2 and my stack. And I
Right.
know my cat is driving me crazy. She wants in here so bad. But it's important to take care of yourself now because the
Absolutely.
statistics show one in
Mm-hmm.
three. And I
That's
don't want
right.
to be a 1 in 3. I don't want my loved ones to
Absolutely
be a one
not.
in three. And any of my friends, do with this what you
Right.
will. But I'm an
Yeah.
open book. I am not here to sell anybody anything. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
professional connector.
Right.
I will connect you to the study. I will connect you to thousands and thousands of testimonies where you can go and read and scroll and read
Mm-hmm.
the online literature. We've got over
Right.
1,200 doctors that are open to connect with anybody, and
Mm-hmm.
people like Annette. I mean, we've got there's over 80,000 of us now that are on
That's
this
all.
momentum worldwide
Yeah.
that are getting this word out. And
Yeah.
there's
Absolutely.
no denying what
Absolutely.
we have is extraordinary.
It's
So
extraordinary. And it's once in a lifetime. And I think the thing that was so amazing to me is, right, it's helped me and my family with certain things, but it's helped you and your family with other things that we weren't dealing with. So, you know, when people say that there's no magic pill, I actually do call this my magic pill because it really does just, like you said, it works 100% of the time in 100% of mammals. So, I am very proud of what I do. I mean, I do several things, but I'm very proud of this, especially because I have no choice but to be a stay-at-home caregiver. That's the choice that I have made because Auntie's nowhere near being ready. to go to any kind of a facility. She's just nowhere near ready. So I have no choice but to be a stay-at-home caregiver and to be able to make an income while making an impact on people's lives is the absolute best thing. It's the absolute best thing, and it's not to, to put anybody else's, career down or what they choose to do from home. For me, the personal satisfaction of making an impact in other people's quality of life for themselves, their parents, their children, their cousins, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's the best feeling in the world. So it is kind of selfish. It is kind of
It
selfish,
is,
but yeah,
Gandhi
it
said,
feels good.
be the change that you want to see in the world. I hashtag that all the time. I bought a little, I should have brought it in here, bought a little thing yesterday. And it
Mm-hmm.
says being the change. That's one of my favorite
That's
things.
really
Jason and I
cool.
say all the time, I'm being the change.
You're
I,
change.
like I said,
That's
I don't
right.
care if
That's
if
right.
people judge me from the
Mm-hmm.
outside on what I do or the things that
Yeah.
I focus on. This is my passion. And I know
Yeah.
it's affected you more than just with your auntie.
Mm-hmm. It
It's
has.
you've
It
got
has. It's
stories that I love.
yeah.
I love
I
the
mean,
shares that
wow.
you have.
Yeah, it's and just as a caregiver, so I want to encourage the caregivers out there to think about your own health. Because if you're not healthy, you can't take care of somebody else. You just can't. So you have, even as a mom, it's not great. And we know it's hard to find the time, right? Because we're nurturers. We are absolute nurturers and we just go and go and go and go and go. But our health is important because we can't give our families the care they need if we're just not healthy. We just can't do it. So I just want to encourage the caregivers as well. Be a health disruptor. That's what I call myself now. You're being the change, and I'm a health disruptor. It's my thing now to just disrupt whatever your normal thoughts are about what health is, and just in a whole. Yeah, I'm so glad we had this opportunity. We've been trying to do it for a while, so I'm glad we
We're
actually
gonna have
pulled
a
it.
part two, and we'll have a part three. I
Part
know.
two. Yeah, yeah, and I
Tell
definitely
us what
want to.
you're going to talk about for our part two.
Okay, so for part two, I'm going to talk about my granddaughter, my 8-year-old granddaughter, and her vitiligo, which is a autoimmune skin condition. So that's what we'll talk about in part two.
And then I'm going to talk about part three.
Yay!
Get my story out. I don't know if everybody has seen that's on here right now or that is watching this on the replay. If you're watching this live, put one. If you're on the replay, put two, just so we know who's who. But my story, and I've got some stuff that I want to share, from the computer, so I have to get that prepared for it. But
Okay.
I had multiple inflammatory conditions, multiple surgeries, and I was on over 20 medications,
Wow.
fibromyalgia, osteoporosis, chronic pain that was just everywhere. And my life changed by thanks of my friend Sharina not being
Yeah.
selfish and introducing me to this. And all she did was
Yeah.
offer me some
Offer
information,
you some
gave me
information. That's
I'm a
right.
nerd, so I researched the research and researched it because I wanted to
Yeah.
find something, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't find anything. You can't disprove this, there's the validation. It's
It's there,
undeniable.
yeah.
So
It's rock solid. It's rock solid. And yeah, I can't wait to talk to you either because I personally have a lot of questions that I have for you that I want to get some answers to. So I'll be looking forward to my turn to be on the end that
yeah,
you are asking the questions so I can get the answers I want.
I'm happy to share for sure. Well, thank you,
Cool.
everybody. I
Thanks,
appreciate everybody's
everybody.
time. Annette, I
Thank
love you
you
so
too.
much, and I hope to see you
Love you
soon.
too. Love
And
you too,
we'll
honey.
call this a wrap. If anybody is interested in more information, my messenger is always open. Annette's messenger is open. We'll have her information
Yeah.
here in this link, so you'll be able to connect with her directly. And we'll also open the group up. We have an online educational group where we have quite a few that have thousands and thousands and thousands of
Mm-hmm.
testimonials and science there. And you can just go and leisurely scroll and look up things that are interesting to you. whether it be
Right.
about cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, ADHD, skin conditions. If it's about your animal, it works for animals too. So,
Mm,
it's open
it's
to everybody
amazing.
that's interested in getting some more information. So just
We're here to help.
just put group down below.
Yeah, we're here to help. Absolutely.
All right.
All right,
Enjoy the
Val,
rest
I'll
of the
talk to you
day.
soon. You too,
Love
sweetie.
you
Love you.
bunches. Thanks,
Love you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Happy Tuesday. Sunshine Magic Living, Biohacking, Life Activated.
Yeah,
Bye.
biohackers. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Take care.
You too.